Hey, this is the C&D channel. I'm Chris, this is Brittany, and this is Dave, and this is the C&D movie reviews. Before we get into this, we'd like to thank our sponsor.
GoBusiness123.com.
For any needs for a resume or anything, all you need to do is go to
GoBusiness123.com.
Dude, you kind of interrupted me there, man.
That's all I do.
Well, anyways, man, if you need any, if you have any needs with business consultation, all you need to do is go to
GoBusiness123.com.
Yeah, and for $19.99,
GoBusiness123.com.
will provide or enhance your resume. They'll put your resume on their site for employers to see, and they'll even give you a 15-minute free mock interview. So please visit.
GoBusiness123.com.
Yeah, you know what, man? Brittany, go get him.
What? Stop it! I'm not laughing.
Good doggy. Good doggy. So, let's go do this. The first movie I'm going to review is a French film called OSS 117, Lost in Rio. It's actually the second one in the OSS 117 series, and there is going to have a sequel for it. Really good movie, very politically incorrect. They make fun of Jews a lot. They have the American guy named Bill Tremendous, who is this total D-bag, pretty much. He's pretty much a jerk that cusses at the main character all the time. The main character being Hubert de la Bath. It's really funny stuff. It's really different. It's about this Hubert who gets this assignment to transport or to switch $50,000 for this microfilm, and he does it in Rio. On the way, he gets chased by Chinamen from some previous escapade that keep wanting to try and kill him. On his way, he partners up with some Israeli, I guess they're kind of like revolutionaries that want the person that he's going to switch the $50,000 for the microfilm with. Von Zimmel is his name. Really good stuff. There's this part where he's with some hippies, and before he hangs out with the hippies, he takes this pill, asks what this pill is, and it's like, and the lady's all like, it's LSD. And then all of a sudden, he talks to the hippies, gets into this LSD trance, and starts just having this wild orgy with both the men and female hippies. It was just hilarious. I mean, there's so much stuff that is so funny with this movie. Like I said, just some of the humor to use, like, it's really politically incorrect. I mean, he'll make fun of these China people in an elevator, and they can't understand him. And what happens is he's at gunpoint with two different sides: the China people and this other side that looks like they're working for Von Zimmel, if I'm not mistaken. He makes fun of these China people. They end up shooting each other over his like racist jokes. And he just kind of walks away. I'm not doing the review too much justice, but it's really funny. It's really different too. I mean, the comedy is very French in a way. It just, they can kind of go through a lot. They can make fun of different languages in a way that it's really hard to see here. Like when the China people speak, it's really broken, and he makes fun of that. And then there's the American guy, Bill Tremendous, and he keeps cussing at him, and the main character, de la Bath, doesn't know what he's saying, and he just kind of responds like, "Oh yeah, sure." So it's really funny. If I were to give it a review, I'm actually gonna give it a good old paw up. I'd say buy it. Honestly, it was that good of a movie. I was that impressed with it. The comedy's a lot different. I am a fan of French film. So yeah, I definitely give OSS 117 Lost in Rio a paw up. So yep. And the next movie I'm gonna review is Marmaduke, voiced by Owen Wilson. There's a lot of different voice actors here, Emma Stone, Fergie, you name it. I think there's just a whole, and William H. Macy's in it. It's pretty much the story of Marmaduke and how him and his owners, they moved from Kansas to California, and he's pretty much tried to find like acceptance in California. Meets the Mutts and in the dog park, and pretty much there's like the main clique, the pedigrees, that kind of rule the park, and there's a lot of the simple themes of friendship. There's some jealousy in here, belonging, and just stuff like that. It was a fun movie. It was fun. What's kind of cool is what Marmaduke goes through. His master, Phil, he goes through with his family, where he's trying to get on top at the expense of everyone else, including his family, including Marmaduke. At one point, he considers giving Marmaduke away because he messes things up. And Marmaduke, he hangs out with the Mutts, wins a surfing competition, and he starts becoming cool with like the cool group. And he leaves his friends behind to try and get ahead, to get on top. It was a good movie. It was a fun family movie. That's exactly how I'd put it. It wasn't great by any means. It wasn't bad by any means either. And because of that, I'm gonna have to give it a paw neutral, but a paw up for any kids or families that want to buy it. Pretty much, if you rent it, you're not gonna be dissatisfied with it. If you buy it, especially if you have kids or something, they'll probably want to watch it over again, especially if they like animals. There's cats, there's dogs and whatnot. So it is a fun movie. But yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. Like the casual viewer may just, if they want to see something fun, kind of fluffy, yeah, get that movie. If you're giving it for a family and the kids are gonna rewatch again, yeah, buy it. It's not a bad buy. So, and the next movie I'm gonna review is Michael Caine and Harry Brown. A very gritty movie. My problem with this movie is that it's very slow paced. I mean, extremely slow paced. There's a lot of action. The movie is about Harry Brown, and he lives in this really rough streets of of England, if I'm not mistaken. And there's gangs like right outside his window, and one of his family members or someone really close to him tries to confront these gang members and gets killed. And he essentially takes the law into his own hands. Emily Mortimer's in this as well as a DA, if I'm not mistaken. No, not a DA. But as a part of the police. Like I said, it's really slow paced though. Not bad. The action is really good. It's really realistic. If someone gets shot, it's a big deal. It's not just like some goon getting shot out of a million goons. I like the acting. At times there's not a lot of dialogue. It's just one of those things that's just like, they'll say something, say a sentence, they'll reply in like a sentence, and it's like they're not saying too much of each other, and it's just there's a lot of like slow silence going on. I did like the grit of it. I mean, the violence was really gritty. If a guy gets shot, he really gets shot. It's kind of geriatric in a way. If you ever seen like Taken or like Edge of Darkness, you'll see that like these guys have crazy moves and whatnot. Michael Caine does not have crazy moves. He moves very gingerly. He shoots his gun kind of gingerly. He gets hurt a lot. But overall, it was a good movie. It's not one I'd buy, so I'd definitely give a paw neutral. I wouldn't give it a paw up. It's not worth buying, in my opinion, but it's definitely a good rental. But it's not a bad movie either. And finally, I'd like to just have a special pick movie. Right now, it's Grandmaster Ip Man. It's a Chinese movie starring Donnie Yen. It actually came out in the U.S. in July 27th, but I thought I'd like to just review it now because it's a really good movie. It's like my pick of the week, pretty much. Great act. It's a story of Ip Man. If you don't know who he is one of the like grandmaster. He's not the founder of Wing Chun, but he is the top dog of Wing Chun and was Bruce Lee's instructor. And it just kind of shows his how his school. Well, he didn't even have a school. How his life and how the Japanese invade Foshan, where his school is, or where his home is, and it pretty much just shows how Ip Man survives through the Japanese invasion of his home. Takes place actually in World War II. One thing that happens is that the Japanese take over, and Ip Man, he fights in these underground tournaments under the watchful eye of General Miura, who's also a martial artist in his own right, and he pretty much fights 10 guys at the first time he does this underground tournament. The fight scenes are amazing. I mean, there's this one part where he gives the guy the splits, and he puts his leg to the guy's face to break his leg. A lot of Wing Chun techniques, a lot of super fast punching. The pacing to the movie's really good too. There's not this huge action scene and then slow action scene, slow. No, it's just action scene, pretty fast, pretty entertaining story, action scene. Then it's it moves so constantly, so it's really good. If you're a fan of martial arts movies, especially Chinese martial arts movies, yeah, get Grandmaster Ip Man. Great movie. I cannot recommend it enough. Definitely giving that a paw up. So, that's it for the C&D movie reviews for this week. If you please visit our sponsor.
GoBusiness123.com.
Where did you come from, man? Yeah, so if you need anything with resumes, business consultations, or job postings, just go to
GoBusiness123.com.
You know what, Brittany? Go get this guy.
No,